Good afternoon, Gotham fans, and welcome to another episode of our reviews. It's time for episode 15 this week. I can't believe we've got 15 episodes already. It's ridiculous of this season. It's to go so quickly. Just a quick spoiler alert, as always, for last night, or not for last night, sorry. So this is it's Wednesday today, so for Monday's episode of Gotham. And also possibly back into season 2, further back, and maybe even back into season 1, I don't know. Depends on what I decide to talk about. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this episode, guys. Okay then, so the episode we're looking at this week is season 2, episode 15, which was titled Mad Grey Dawn. Now, for me, that kind of means I've realised that all of the characters at the moment are in a stage where they've come to kind of quite a dark end to their kind of their life at the moment. Their kind of section or the part of their life that they're on at the moment is really dark. All of the characters, including the main characters, seem to be under quite a dark blanket at the moment in Gotham. It seems to be getting a lot darker. It's quite bleak, really, I think. My 5 words or under, I've got 4 words to describe this week. Riddler's on the rise. And that's Riddler's on the rise. As I said, as we always say, you'll see as we go through the episode what that means for Gotham as an individual, as a city, and also for the characters and also for us as viewers. So we'll start off with our first character, as we always look at, Jim Gordon. Now, he had a very interesting episode this week with a lot of scenes. I enjoyed the puzzles that he worked out, but he didn't seem to be able to work out the culprit, because obviously he's never seen these trademark question marks, but we have, obviously. We know what they mean, so we know who the culprit was easily, and he doesn't know who set him up yet. He's been arrested for Galavan's murder, which is quite an interesting development, actually, because I thought we got away with it. And then suddenly be arrested by Captain Barnes for not only the murder of Galavan, but also a fellow officer as well. It's quite good. It's taken the story of Gotham and it's twisted it a little bit, and I was a bit shocked by that. I wasn't quite ready for that, kind of just that shock. And the fact that he told Leslie to forget about him was really sad, I thought. He told them to kind of, he told her to go and just kind of get on with her life and be happy with the baby and just leave him to rot in prison almost. I want to know, will he get out of prison? And if he gets out of prison, what will he do? Will he go after the culprit? Will he go after Nigma if he finds out? Or will he go after Leslie and say, I'm really sorry for everything I put you through, can we just move away and start again? Which I don't think will happen, but we'll have to see. Moving on to Harvey Bullock. He finally got a few more scenes this week, and he helped Gordon to work out the puzzles, which was great because it's good to see him getting back into his detective work again, which I think we've been lacking over these past 14 episodes of the season. It's just been a really terrible season for him so far, I feel. But now that he's promised to find out who's framing Gordon, what I want to know is, will we see more of him as we saw this week, and will next week be pivot around him as a central character, or will it be him investigating other people? So it will be him as a central character going outwards into the other characters. Let's take a quick look at Captain Barnes. Now, he had a few more scenes as well. He kind of thinks that Gordon killed a fellow officer, and I even think that he thinks that Galavan was killed by Jim Gordon as well, which is a dangerous thing, I think. It's going to be really dangerous if Captain Barnes thinks that, because it means that Captain Barnes is going to be against Jim Gordon from now on, and I think that's going to be really dangerous for both Gordon and also for Captain Barnes, because it gives him a rocky relationship with his fellow officer. But also, if he goes after Gordon and if he starts saying that Gordon murdered him, will Gordon's friends in the GCPD start turning against Captain Barnes? And he also got really angry, which is always interesting, I think. It's always quite funny to see him get angry, because he looks like he just kind of goes really red in the face and ends up looking like a giant tomato. It's quite hilarious. Before we move on to one of my favourite character development moments, let's talk about Leslie Tompkins quickly. Again, she felt a little bit useless this week, and I don't know if it's just me that's feeling like she's not being used to her full potential, as she was in episode 13. Dead Man Feels No Cold. I just felt like she could be used a bit more. I felt sorry for her when Gordon told her to leave the prison, as I've said earlier, and I just think that's about it really that I can talk about in Leslie. Now, Bruce Wayne. Oh, that's an exciting storyline this week. Him and Selina had a very good few scenes this week. Now, they weren't in it a huge amount, but the scenes they were in it were amazing. The fight with Butch's nephew was interesting and exciting. I think he's definitely a lot stronger than he was before. However, I still think he needs to get a little bit more confident to see this kind of side to Batman that we've always kind of known and expect to see from Bruce at some point. Maybe even in season 3, let's just get this kind of story rolling a bit quicker, maybe. I don't know. It just feels like at the moment we're not really seeing... I know he's only 14, Bruce Wayne at the moment, but it just feels like we're starting to see these traits of Batman, which is good. But I'm wondering if that's too slow still, or whether it takes a long time before he starts suddenly becoming this huge vigilante that we see in the films and in the comic books. Let's move on to look at Selina Kyle. Now, she helped Bruce to steal the money from Butch's nephew, and she gave Bruce some really good advice, which was great. I think they're starting to become great friends. Actually, it's really looking to me. I love them two together. I think they're brilliant actors. Both of them, David Mazouz and Cameron Biekendova. They are incredibly brilliant on screen together. They've got such great chemistry. I think it's just really good. I don't know. They just together. There's something about them together that makes me just kind of feel really warm inside. I just love seeing them together on screen. And also, Ivy was back. Now, she was only in it for one scene. However, she helped the gang. She helped Bruce and Selina knock out the gang with her mushrooms, which is quite good because it means we're starting to see her horticultural side, which is obviously Poison Ivy is what she's going to become. And Poison Ivy is extremely sensitive and loving about all the plants and flowers, and she's very eco-friendly and stuff. So it's quite good that we're starting to see this side coming out to her in her early, as we're starting to see all the other villains give their traits. So it's quite good. We'll move on to the villains then, shall we? We'll start with Penguin. Now, he is still sane and still kind as well, it seems. He visited Butch, which was essentially, well, my first impression was that it was extremely brave. My second impression was that it was really foolish. The visit to Nigma wasn't well received, which was quite funny. I thought that Nigma trying to tell him to get out of his house was quite hilarious. And he also met his father and his stepfamily. Now, that's an interesting development in the story, because I never thought we'd see Oswald's father. And his stepfamily seemed quite happy to meet him, but are they really? That's what I want to know. It's a little bit, they looked a bit off. Let's briefly talk about Butch. In fact, we might as well talk about Butch and Tabitha together. We'll talk about Butch first. He seems to still be working with Tabitha, which I want to know why. And he didn't kill Penguin, which is quite lucky, I think, because I think if Penguin had been killed, then Penguin's men would have just killed Butch, so it wouldn't have made much difference. And also, we like Penguin. We don't want him getting killed. And let's just take a quick look at Tabitha Galavan as well. So she's now on her own, obviously, because Theo Galavan is dead. She was in it with Butch, didn't have much of a role, so I just want to see more from her, because I do quite like Tabitha Galavan. She's quite a villainous person, I think. Without Theo there, she's taken control. She's taken kind of this power that that was withheld from her, and she's been given that power now that Theo's dead, and she's kind of got all the power. It's good. And now, the Riddler. Now, the Riddler was the main villain of this week. He stole a priceless painting from the Gotham Art Museum, which was a very exciting opening, I thought. It was a really quick opening as well this week, which was weird, because normally they're about 5-6 minutes long, the opening. This week's opening was about 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes. The trademark question mark is back again. It's brilliant. We love seeing this. In fact, I love seeing it. I don't know about anyone else, but I absolutely adore seeing the trademark question mark. And then he framed Gordon for his murder of Pinckney, which is, I think it's Pinckney, something like that. And that's the fellow police officer I was telling you about earlier. Yeah, so I want to know what Riddler's going to do next. He seems to just want to keep going with this crime spree. It's extremely exciting for everyone who's rooting for the Riddler, and I love Corey Michael Smith. I think he's a brilliant actor. I'm really rooting for him. I just love the villains more than I love the heroes in this show. It seems I really am rooting for Penguin and Riddler mostly because I just love them, and it's just brilliant, you know. And finally, I'd like to just mention Barbara Keane. Now, Barbara woke up finally. I was so happy about this when I saw that because she's such a great character. I love her so much. I just love Erin Richards, who is the actress who plays her. She's really good. I just want to see kind of more. I want to see what happens now, whether she still remembers what happened before she went into the coma. Because she doesn't know that Galavan is dead either. Theo is dead. She knows Tabitha. She doesn't know Tabitha is still alive. Although Tabitha is obviously, but she doesn't know that. Now, there was no Alfred this week, which means he's probably recovering from the fight last week that we talked about with Cupcake. There was no Harvey Dent or Lucius Fox either, which I'm kind of not really bothered about actually. I thought I would be, but I'm not really that bothered that neither of them are in it at the moment. There just seems to be no storyline for them, which is quite good that they're leaving them out and they're not trying to force a storyline to have them in there. Now, my conclusion for the week was that it was an exciting episode. It was further improving on last week's rise in excitement, because obviously, as I said, if you watch my episode 12 and 13 review, Mr. Freeze and Dead Men Feel No Cold, them two episodes were a little bit slower than episode 11 had been, which was, oh, I don't know, Worse Than a Crime, I think, was episode 11. But I just felt like it was a little bit dull in episodes 12 and 13, whereas 14 and 15 have been gradually getting back up this excitement that we've had in the last few weeks before we broke for season break. Or mid-season, sorry. And then my overall rating this week for Gotham Season 2, Episode 15, Mad Grey Dawn, is an 8.5 out of 10, which is a very good score, considering it's the same as last week's, I think. But it's just a really good episode. Again, as I said, it's just a fantastically put together episode. I love Gotham. I absolutely love it. And even the slower episodes, even even episode 12 and 13, I still love them. I just didn't think they were as good as the others. They were a little bit slower, which is sometimes good because it means you get more of a character development normally. If it's more talking, you get more character development. So yeah, that concludes my review for this week for Gotham Season 2, Episode 15. And also, keep an eye out for any Game of Thrones fans out there. As Game of Thrones started airing on Monday for their Season 6, I will be doing a series of videos for Season 6, so it'll be 10 episodes. So yeah, keep an eye out for my Episode 1 review, which might be up at the same time, which might be up today, if not, it'll be up tomorrow. So yeah, hope you've enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you had, and please subscribe down below in the box, in the description box. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this episode, guys. See you later. Bye!